Hey folks, I'm Sarah and I'm on the 2025 jury for what I think is the best book prize for literary fiction from small presses. It's called the Republic of Consciousness Prize, United States and Canada, and it is dedicated to literary fiction from small presses in North America. Over the next few months, I will be sharing every single book nominated for the prize, and while I can't share my personal opinions on each book just yet, I will share enough details so that you can get to know the book and the publisher. Every book gets its very own video, and you are not going to want to miss a single one. Next up is book number 32, Information Age by Cora Lewis, published by Joyland Editions. Information Age is narrated by a young woman who lives in New York. She lives with two roommates. She works as a journalist for an online news site. She rotates in and out of romantic relationships. One particular relationship seems to be on rotation more frequently. She visits regularly with her family and friends. Her father remarried and has two young children, so she has two siblings who are much younger than she is, and she spends a lot of time in this novel with her siblings. She travels around the country to cover different news stories, and this book spans several years, so you get to see how each of those areas of her life connect and evolve over time. The publisher describes this as a novella told in vignettes, and I might extend that a little bit further and say, to me, this felt almost like the way it was structured and the way the sentences and scenes are formed. It felt like the kind of notes that a journalist might take when working on a story. It's like a long string of connected observations. There are external observations, things she's experiencing in her life with her family and her friends and her roommates and her love life, even strangers on the street. And then there are also internal observations, things she's thinking and feeling as she's struggling to find a place for herself in the world. And many of these scenes end almost on what feels like a punchline. There is a regular rhythm to these vignettes or observations where there's like a setup, description, and then something funny or poignant. And then you move on to the next scene. Setup, payoff. Setup, payoff. And it's just this regular rhythm. And then, of course, another significant aspect of this novella is the title, which is Information Age. And I think it speaks to a few different things. It points to the time we're living in and the way we share and perceive information. Information is gathered in mass, like the observations in this novel. Lots of information, but shared in snippets, shared in short bursts, like think of a tweet. Nothing goes in real deep for a long period of time. It's just, oh, dogs barking. So think of a tweet. We see something short that's meant to make us feel a certain way, and then we move on to the next thing. But also, Information Age, I think, could be seen as the period, the season of the narrator's life that she's living in right now, where she's kind of in information gathering mode. She's trying to figure out who she is, where she belongs, what she wants, and how to get it. And Cora Lewis is a writer and reporter who currently works at the Associated Press in New York, and she previously worked at BuzzFeed News. She lives in Brooklyn near Sunset Park. And Information Age is Joyland Editions' first book, which is so cool. Joyland Publishing is the independent nonprofit publisher of an award-winning literary journal, Joyland Magazine, and Joyland Editions, which they launched just this year in 2025, is a small press publishing 2 novellas each year. So I would love for you to tell me about other novels, other fiction that you've read that's structured like this. Even some narrative nonfiction, I feel like, is structured in vignettes or sketches. I want to know what impact does this style and structure have for you? One reviewer used the word curating in their blurb for the book, and I think that's a great way to think of it. It does feel like curation. It's a curation of moments, a curation of information. And then another reviewer used the words precision and surgical, which I think is just another way of getting at carefully curated. I think it means the same thing. You're cutting away all the extraneous bits until you have just what's the most poignant left. So I would, again, love to know what other fiction that you, or nonfiction that you've read that is in this kind of vignette style. What do you think about it? What do you like about it? Do you think this style is really speaking to the time we're living in now, where so much information is shared in short bursts and where our attention spans are supposedly shrinking down and down and down? Or is this a structure that transcends the time we're living in? I would love to know your opinion. I would love to know your examples. I think also of Jenny Offel's 2020 novel Weather, which I loved, which also felt like it's shared in like sketches and vignettes. Let me know your other examples in the comments, and this is my example for you. And that's just one of many incredible books nominated by one of many incredible publishers. The long list of 10 books is usually announced in mid-January-ish, but I guarantee you there are going to be more than 10 amazing books from these nominees. So if you love offbeat, under-the-radar literary fiction, you are going to want to follow along. Click above or below for the next nominated book. If I've filmed it, it'll be available there. If not, stay tuned for just a little while longer. And in the meantime, you can click the playlist below that will contain all of the nominated books that I've shared so far. Again, my name is Sarah. Thank you so much for joining me here. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.